Hey guys, Lancer here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for joining me while looking to some more MTG Kamigawa cards, I guess. They're not spoilers. Anyways, we're going to move on to red. So we got Aki, Ember Keeper, 1 colorless, 1 red for a 2/1 enchantment creature, Goblin Warrior. Whenever a non-token modified creature you control dies, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Perfectly fine. This is actually a good way to, I guess, not lose too much when one of your creatures that's been modified gets taken out by a spell. It's well costed, so it's an enchantment creature. It does a couple of different dual duties. Aki Ronin, 1 colorless, 1 red for a 1/3 goblin samurai. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Pretty good. Actually, really good. Aki Warpaint, 1 red enchantment aura. When enchant artifact or creature, as long as enchanted permanent is a creature, gets +2/+1. Okay, what happens if you enchant an artifact? Okay, I'm not too sure what's going on there. Ambitious Assault, 2 colorless, 1 red for an instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If you control a modified creature, draw a card. Pretty good. Actually, really good. Atsushi, no, Atsushi. Yeah, this sushi. Atsushi, the Blazing Sky, 2 colorless, 2 red for a 4/4 legendary creature, Dragon Spirit, with flying and trample. Pretty damn well costed. It's too well costed. We're going to get one mana red spells that are going to be 4/4s with flying and trample, the way they're going in a couple more sets. When Atsushi, the Blazing Sky, dies, choose 1, exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards, or create 3 treasure tokens, both very powerful. Bronze Plate Boar, 2 colors, 1 red for a 3/2 artifact creature, equipment boar with trample. Equipped creature gets +3/+2 and has trample. Reconfigure 5. It's expensive reconfigure, but it serves dual duties, so that's what you get for when it does more than one thing. Crackling Emergence, 1 red, 1 colorless, for an enchantment or enchant land you control. Enchanted land is a 3/3 red spirit creature with haste. It is still a land. If enchanted land would be destroyed, instead sacrifice Crackling Emergence, and that land gains indestructible until end of turn. That feels actually really good to me. Don't know, doesn't feel like you're losing anything. That just feels like a 2 mana 3/3 with haste, and it still acts like a land, so you can just be a bit more aggressive in a red deck. I think this might actually be something useful in red decks, even in modern. Dragonspark Reactor, 1 colorless, 1 red for an artifact. When a Dragonspark Reactor or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a charge counter on Dragonspark artifact, pay 4, sacrifice it. It deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target player, and that much damage to up to 1 target creature. This feels weird. You have to play a certain kind of deck, and then it still costs a lot and doesn't draw you a card or anything, so I don't know. Maybe an infinite combo, and then hit someone for 1,000,000. Experimental Synthesizer, 1 red for an artifact. When Experimental Synthesizer enters or leaves the battlefield, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your turn, you may play that card. That's good. Pay 2, pay 2 and 1 red, and then sacrifice this card. Create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance. Activate only as a sorcery. This is a really good common card in a lot of decks. It draws you, pretty much, it draws you 2 cards, and it does the artifact thing of being an artifact. It does the artifact thing of dying, having a sacrifice outlet on it. Yeah, this is really good. Explosive Entry, 1 colorless, 1 red for sorcery. Destroy up to 1 target artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Feels pretty good to me. It's not instant, but Explosive Singularity, 8 colorless, 2 red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature tapped this way. It does 10 damage to any target. This is a great finisher in a lot of decks. Yeah, pretty much. Flame Discharge, pay X and 1 red, instant. Flame Discharge deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control a modified creature as you cast the spell, it does X plus 2 damage instead. Doesn't target people, but it is instant. Yeah, I don't know, that's a tricky one. Gift of Wrath, 3 colors, 1 red for an enchantment or an enchant artifact or creature. Really creepy looking art. As long as the enchanted permanent is a creature, gets +2/+2 and has menace. And when it leaves the battlefield, create a 2/2 red spirit creature token with menace. I'm so confused. What does it do when it enchants an artifact? Does it... Yeah, I don't know. Goshinta of Ancient Wars, 2 colors, 1 red for a 2/2 legendary enchantment creature shrine with first strike. Actually, not that bad with the first strike. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, Goshinta of the Ancient deals X damage to target creature or target player or planeswalker where X is the number of shrines you control. It's not very good until you start getting 3 or 4 shrines. Goro, Disciple of Ryusi. 1 colorless, 1 red for a 2/2 legendary creature, Goblin Samurai. Pay 1 red, creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Actually, really good. Pay 3 and 2 red, create a 5/5 dragon spirit creature token with flying, activate only if you control an attacking modified creature. You have to do this in response to attacking. The 5/5 does not get a chance to attack because you're attacking already. So you can't trigger the haste. For 6 mana, you cannot create a 5/5 dragon with haste and then attack on the turn. That makes him not that good, but I still like him because he can give haste. Heiku Yamazaki the General, 3 colors, 1 red for a 3/3 legendary creature human samurai with trample. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast target artifact card from your graveyard this turn. It's okay. Invoke Calamity, 1 colorless, 4 red for an instant. You may cast up to 2 instants and or sorcery spells with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard and or hand without paying their mana cost. If these spells would be put into the graveyard, exile them instead. Exile Invoke Calamity. It's an instant. It does some cool stuff. It might be a good finisher in some aggressive red decks. We'll have to see. Iron Hoof Boar, 5 colors, 1 red for a 5/4 artifact creature. Boar with trample and haste. And it's a common. This card is insane. Channel, 1 colorless, 1 red for, and then discard it. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample at the end of turn. This card is a great finisher in limited and feels like a pretty good card in decks which don't want to get countered much. Kami of Industry, 4 colorless, 1 red for a 3/6 creature spirit. When Kami of Industry enters the battlefield, return target artifact creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Still pretty good. Kami's Flare, 1 colorless, 1 red for an instant. Kami's Flare deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Kami's Flare also deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. This feels good in the right decks. Kindled Fury, 1 red for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Just a very simple combat trick. Now, Lizard Blades, one of the best cards to come out of here. 1 red, 1 colorless for a 1/1 artifact creature equipment lizard. They're lizards. With double strike. Equipped creature also gets double strike if you decide to reconfigure it for the cheap cost of 2 mana. That's actually really cheap. March of Reckless Joy, pay X and a red instant. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may exile any number of red cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Exile the top X cards of your library. You may play up to 2 of these cards until the end of your next turn. This is a lot better than the black one. Ogre Head Helm, 1 colorless, 1 red for a 2/2 artifact creature equipment ogre. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. When equipped Ogre Helm or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, discard your hand and draw the 3 cards. Reconfigure 3. Yeah, I like this. It's actually really good in a red deck anyways. Doesn't have haste. Yeah. Peerless Samurai, 2 colorless, 1 red for a 2/3 creature human samurai with menace. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 less to cast. Not bad, but I don't really know what you'd be aggressively pushing for that. Rabbit Battery, cute rabbit. 1 red for a 1/1 artifact creature equipment rabbit with haste. Equipped creature also gets +1/+1 and has haste Reconfigure 1 red, actually really powerful. Reinforced Ronin, 1 red for a 2/2 artifact creature human samurai with haste. At the beginning of your next end step, return Reinforced Ronin to its owner's hand. And you can channel 1 red, 1 colorless. Discard Reinforced Ronin, draw a card. This is really, really good, I think. I don't know. Maybe someone can explain to me how it's not that good, but I feel like it's a good card. Scrap Welder, 2 colorless, 1 red for a 3/3 creature goblin artificer. Tap, sacrifice an artifact with mana value less. Return target artifact card with mana value less than X from your graveyard to the battlefield against haste until end of turn. It's a good way to reuse mana artifacts that are about to die from something. This guy himself is not an artifact, so he does save from Battle Blast. Scrapyard, Steel Breaker, 3 colorless, 1 red for an artifact creature human warrior. 3/4. Pay 1, sacrifice another artifact. Scrapyard, Steel Breaker gets +2/+1 until end of turn. And it does not say you can only do that once, so this could be a finisher card, weirdly enough. Especially with tokens and other weird stuff that you can get a lot of nowadays. Seismic Wave, 2 colorless, 1 red for an instant. Seismic Wave deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to each non-artifact creature target opponent controls. Yeah, feels pretty good to me. You can deal 3 damage to something and then 1 damage to all of the other tokens. So possibly do something pretty cool with that. Simeone Sling, 1 red for a 1/1 artifact creature equivalent monkey. A cool creature gets +1/+1 whenever Simeone Sling or a cool creature becomes blocked. It deals 1 damage to defending player. Reconfigure 2. Doesn't give haste, but it's cheap. And actually, Reconfigure is not cheap too, but that's okay. It does something kind of cool. Sokazan Smelter, 1 colorless, 1 red for a 2/2 creature goblin artificer. There are no bad cards in this set in most ways I can see. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1 colorless and sacrifice an artifact. If you do, create a 3/1 red construct artifact creature token with haste. Yeah, feels pretty good. Feels good in the right deck. Tempered in Solitude, 1 colorless, 1 red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, exile the top card of your library, you may play a card that... Oh my god. This is just insane. Don't get me wrong, you're not going to trigger it all the time. In fact, you may not trigger it most of the time, but it just feels like in the right deck, this is your card draw card, and it's 2 mana and it's in red. Just it's so annoying. Thundering, losing my voice. Thundering Raiju, 2 colorless, 2 red for a 3/3 creature spirit with haste. Whenever Thundering Raiju attacks, you may put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. Cool, yeah, it works in this set. Tawashi Song Shaper, 1 colorless, 1 red for a 2/2 artifact creature human artificer. Whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Tawashi Song Shaper gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I just feel like these kinds of cards, because they don't say only once per turn or anything like that, you can just kind of go infinite with these and then run into someone for 20 damage or something. Just leaves it open for that, but other than that, it's just well costed. Twin Shot Sniper, 3 colorless, 1 red for a 2/3 artifact creature goblin archer. With reach, when Twin Shot Sniper enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. That itself is actually really good. And it's got channel, 1 colorless, 1 red for discarding it, and it deals 2 damage to any target. Also feels pretty good. I actually like both of these set cards, and they're very strong. Unstoppable Ogre for 2 colorless, 1 red for a 4/1 artifact creature ogre warrior. When Unstoppable Ogre enters the battlefield, target creature cannot block this turn. It does not have haste, so very much stoppable the next turn. Uprising Renegade, 1 colorless, 1 red for a 1/3 creature human samurai. Uprising Renegade gets +2/+0 until end gets +2/+0 for each other modified creature you control. So if you control 2 modified creatures, then this guy is a 5/3 for 2 mana. That feels pretty strong, but I understand that's also not that easy to do. But he seems like a pretty good pickup. If you do get him, then you're going to want to get a lot of those battery rabbits. Voltage Surge, 1 red instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice an artifact. Voltage Surge deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If this spell's additional cost was paid, it deals 4 damage instead. Not bad if you want to get rid of a very specific card, and then you have some crappy artifacts lying around without much use. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me while we're looking at some more red cards. We'll be moving on to green multicolored artifacts, lands, and sagas next. And I'll see you next time. Have fun.